IHD Business Management. So it's managing activities to achieve results. So basically this talks about within an organization how you are managing your operations or activities in order to achieve your productivity or the results. So the process only we are going to discuss in this particular module. So today's class will be an introduction class. So I will be starting from the very basics and moving on to the next slide. Next slide. Okay. What is an organization? So the slide basically tells about what is an organization. So it talks an organization is an entity such as a company, an institution, an association comprising one or more people having a particular purpose. The word is derived from the Greek word. So these are not necessary. So how it is originated and all. So basically you have to understand what is an organization. As you all know, few people or more than two or more people getting together in order to achieve a common purpose or goal is called an organization. So moving on to the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. As business management students, hope you all are aware of the vision mission statement. But again, I will be repeating. So, mission is a statement that defines the business objectives and is approach to reach those objectives. So, mission is where the milestones which you are in process of attaining your vision. So, vision statement is something that describes the future vision. That means future viewpoint of how your organization may be in the long run, maybe a minimum of 10 years or 20 years, more than that, how your organization should be is your vision. And elements of vision and mission statements are often combined to provide a statement of company's purpose and goals and values. So this is how vision mission statements also provides organizations purposes, and this is what the organization is existing. Next. Next slide, please. So we are going to specifically talk about the SMART objectives. So objective is a statement which describes what an individual, team, or organization is hoping to achieve. So talking about managing activities to receive results. So here basically it's a short-term goal which is undertaken in attaining the main goal, which is to attain the vision. So how the short-term goals or set objectives can be identified and on process in track, how we take into and how we get the results is defined through objectives. So let's see what are SMART objectives. So SMART objectives is something, the objective should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be realistic and timely. So specific is you should have a specific boundary of how and what you are going to attain, and it should be measurable, maybe in quantity, maybe in qualitative or quantitative. You should have a measurable point. That means how much volume of sales you're going to increase, how much your revenue is going to increase, are you going to decrease your turnover. All should have a measurable point, and it should be achievable. Achievable in the sense you have to make an objective in a way that you are willing or you will be attaining in the future. You can't just set unrealistic goals. So that is the next point. It talks about the unrealistic goals. So unrealistic goals is something which is not achievable, which is not realistic to the real world scenario you just set up. So you will be working on, but you won't get it because it's not real, it's unrealistic. So always your organization objectives should be realistic. Dylan, I think you changed the slide, can you just move? And timely, so it should be time bound. So time bound in the sense it should have a specific time frame on how you're going to finish and how this particular objective is going to achieve in this particular time frame, and how you are going to work according to that. So then only you can have a plan or a schedule. Next. So this is regarding the business culture. So what is the business culture? So they are saying there is a clan culture, hierarchical culture, market culture, and autocracy culture. So business culture encompasses values, behaviors that contribute to the unique social and psychological environment of a business. So business culture is basically, as culture means you all know, set of norms, values and beliefs which is coming out through generation to generation through ancestors. As such, organizations also do have cultures which is organized or invented or came up with the inventors. So how they basically manage the organizational culture. So moving on to the next slide. So types of business culture. First, the clan culture. This culture is rooted in collaboration. Members share commonalities and see themselves a part of one big family who are active and involved. Leadership takes the form of mentorship, and the organization is bound by commitment and traditions. The main value are rooted in teamwork, communication, and consensus. A prominent clan culture is terms of main, the make of all natural hygienic products to build the brand. Founder Tom Chappell focused on building respectful relationship with employees, customers, suppliers, and environment itself. So that is a basic example for the clan culture. So clan culture basically describes how you are going to work within an organization members in a common set of goals, how you are going to tune up each one of you all as a part of organization. Like you feel your organization is your one big family and you all work as a family in order to achieve the organizational goals. So here it comes as a part of tradition. That means the inventor or the business owner or the producer always have a value rooted from teamwork. That means you are more collaborated and how more enthusiastically working when you are working as a team. So here interpersonal relationships matters a much in the clan culture. So next one is the autocracy culture. This culture is based on energy and creativity. Employees are encouraged to take risk, and the leaders are seen as innovators or entrepreneurs. The organization is held together by experiment, which emphasizes of individual ingenuity, freedom. The core values are based on change and agility. Facebook can be seen as a prototypical adhocracy organization based on CEO Mark Zuckerberg's famous admonition to move fast and break things. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough. Here, in the adhocracy culture, what here is happening is you basically let all the people to work on their own. You leave them to come up with their own skills, own creativity, and always creativity and out of the box thinking is welcomed in this particular culture. So here you don't have to rely on someone or somebody to take any decisions or come up with initiative. If you have your skills and if you can prove it to the experiment, you can come up with new productivity. So that this particular culture of organization always gives freedom to the employees to work on their own. So this is basically the autocracy culture. Next. Next slide, please. Nilanza, next slide, please. Okay, market culture. So the market culture, this culture is built upon dynamics of competition and achieving concrete results. The focus is goal oriented with leaders who are tough and demanding. The organization is united by a common goal to succeed all best rivals. The main value drivers are market share and profitability. So here this kind of culture, here what they are doing is they are more into a competitive field. Now if you take one particular organization, they always think all the other firms within their industry as their competitors, and always they are very dynamic regarding the competition, and always they focused on the profits and the results. Always they move into succession regarding, like, they have a tough demand of products with their competitors to attend the co-competition. So here what they are doing is they work achieve in order to achieve the results better than the competitors. So in a market culture, you have to understand this type of organizations always focuses on the external environment, and always identifies what are the competitors, and always they wanted to attain the market positioning. The main goal is to attain the market position and improve their market share. This is what they are working for. General Electric's ex-CEO Jack is a good example of this culture. He vowed that every General Electric business unit must first rank or second in its respective market or face being sold off. Another example of market culture is software giant Oracle under hard driving executive chairman by Larry Ellison. So here their main focus should be they want to attain the market positioning and they want to achieve the market share. So this is the main goal of them. So next, the hierarchical culture. So hierarchical culture is something founded and controlled by the culture is founded a structure and control. The work environment is formal with strict institutional procedures in place for guidance. Leadership is based on organization, coordination and monitoring. With a culture emphasizing efficiency and predictability, the values include consistency and uniformity. Think of stereotypical large bureaucratic organization as McDonald's, military departments, or motor vehicles. So hierarchical culture is something, if you take any big organization or any big multinational company, they stick into the hierarchical culture. Hierarchical culture means you don't specifically go into a sort of culture, you have your strict hierarchy. So in your strict hierarchy, what happens is your authority in your hierarchy, that means maybe a top, middle or operational level, you are given a particular designation, and for that particular designation you have given some authority and some responsibilities. So you have to work according to the designation, your authority and the power, and you can use all these to enhance the organizational productivity. So basically all big MNCs always follow the hierarchical structure in order to omit the confusions and like doubling the work. Like if you have a strict hierarchy, then you know who is responsible for what. Now if you have a mixed culture and if you try to do that sort of thing in MNC, so it will become a problem because your single brand is working or is experiencing the operations in all other regions. So you have to have a basically strict hierarchy. So next it's about the business process. So business process, business methods or business function is a collection of related structures, activities, tasked by people or equipment in which a specific sequence produces a service or product for a particular customer or customers. So this is basically talking about the business process. What are the methods of function as a collectively as a process you're using to enhance your productivity using your resources, maybe physical or the human resource. What kind of service or product you're going to give to your customers in the final stage. Next slide please. Okay, they are saying the types of business process are into three types. First, based process. Sorry, project based process, clinical process, transactional process. So, okay. First one, project-based process. It talks like any project. These start with the requirement or need or scope and objective, and set a plan and is made before execution. Key performance indicators and measures are set, and improvements and feedback to the next time of the project is run. An example of this type of process could be recruited. The business has to need for a resource. The requirements are defined before recruitment takes place. So basically this process is called the project based. So project based process is something you have a time frame, you have a need or scope for it, and it is all the processes accomplishing as a project. That means, like, if you have a set of goals and you have a time frame and this is one of your project, you have several projects with several time frame, and each projects you complete one by one and you form a process. So this is how a project based process is. So project based process will have a starting time and an ending time, it will have a need, it will have a scope. So this is how basically organizations goes through one kind of process. Next one is cyclical process. So this is time to be triggered, time bound, thinking of monthly reporting process that runs at the same every month and must be delivered by a certain date. So here some organization will be running on a project basis. Other organization daily operations will be there. There is no any change, but in your daily operation monthly reporting has to be done. So starting from January to December, okay, this is your designation, this is your work process, this is the productivity which you have to attain. So all should have a monthly reports, monthly process. So in the monthly reports, if you can find the progress from January to December, if there is a hike or enhance in your productivity, if there is a increase in sales, if there is an increase in your customer base, if there is an increase in your market share, or if there is a decrease in your financial statements, all these can be analyzed through a monthly reporting structure. So next one is the transactional process. This can be high volume and are triggered in response to an external request. An example of this could be someone arriving on a website and making a purchase, and process is fulfilling the order. So this is basically the transactional process. So transactional process is something you have a trigger of making your customers to respond to your products. That means always you have a notion of how to sell the product, or how to uh, have a product identity among the customers, where that always the customers would be willing to only buy your service or your service or your product. So this is the transactional process. So next one is the customer orientation. So customer orientation is defined as an approach to sales and customer relations in which staff focus on helping customers to meet their long-term needs and wants. Here management and employees align their individual and team objectives around satisfying the retaining customers. So customer orientation is something how you are going to manage your customers. That means you may have a customer. Now if you take a specific product, now you buy a packet of Maggi noodles or a packet of shampoo or something, a product, but you think that if you buy a product, if you don't like, you have to use it or you just can throw it. No, it's not like that. So always, even the products, now if you buy a laptop or any other gadgets or AC or something, they will have after sale services. Even if you buy and if it have a problem, they will be finding out what is the problem and sorting out. Now if you have a end product, which is okay, you buy a bottle of beverage and you consume it, and you have a packet of noodles or something, and if you see all the products, they will have let us know your feedback or let us know your suggestions. Why they are having all this stuff is, if end of the day if you buy the product, that's all for them. So why they are taking this is because they always wanted to retain you as their customers. So they wanted to identify what are the errors they are making, and in your point of view, what you think about the product and what are the suggestions you are going to give. So customer orientation is something very important as a business owner or a business entity. You have to know to retain the customers, how you are addressing their problems. So this is basically discussed in the customer orientation. Next. So market research. So what is market research? As I told you, customer orientation is important. Customer orientation is can be done by your organization through a market research. Market research is how you understand what are the viewpoints among the general public regarding your product. So market research is organization to gather information about the target market, customers. It is very important component of a business strategy. So in order to come up with a business strategy, you have to know how your competitors are providing the products, how you could come more than them, better than them, how you can have your core competency with regards to your customers. So this is basically done through the market research. When you do the market research only, you get to know the ideas, preferences, demand of the customers, so which will be enhancing you to take decisions in a correct way. And always it also helps to identify who are you going to target as your target customers and how important your customers are in making up a business strategy. Four common types of market research techniques include surveys, interviews, focus groups, and customer observation. So basically, they are telling you can take surveys, you can do interviews, and you can focus a certain group and identify their preferences. And directly, you can also observe your customers. These are the basic ways how you can do a market research. Next. Yeah. Next, I have completed the basics. So this is regarding the time management. So what time management is all about? So time management is something which is very essential or which is very vital for an organization to achieve their results. Now, if they are failing to achieve their results in their given time, so their business or whatever they are achieving would be a failure. So always organization sets plans and a time frame along with it to ensure the quality of the output. So how an organization is going to manage their time? So that is how we are going to discuss in this. So time management is the process of organizing, planning how to divide your time between specific activities. Good time management requires an important shift in focus from activities to results. So this is basically talking about the time management, how an organization could effectively manage their time. So it says you should have a clear focus, you should have a dynamic task list, what you're going to do. Now you have to give focus on what are the activities which you are going to do, and you have to minimize interruptions. That means whatever the things is bothering you from doing your goal or completing your task, you have to stop those interruptions and stop procrastination. That means if you are assigned with a job and you can do that job, what you think, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, a single task you procrastinate, it will also procrastinate your end results. So procrastination is a very bad habit as an employee or as an employer. As a human also, procrastination is very bad because it will be affecting us in the near future. So next one is the time limit multitasking. So multitasking, now you have a focus, you have a task to complete. Now at once, if you all are multitasking, you won't be completing any task at a time in the given time period. So reduce your multitasking activities and always give prioritization. Prioritize your work and do according to it, and review your day. So after you complete a specific task, from if you are working in an organization from morning to evening, so what is your progress? So you address all this by having a review of yourself. So what have you completed, how you have completed, and what are the interruptions you have, what are the things you have procrastinated. So these all can be done also using some tools and techniques. So the next class, the next session will help you in an organization how they are managing to get a better result through the time management. So next class we will be learning the critical path analysis, per chart and stuff. So all the tool management will be continued next class. So far, if you all are having any doubts, you all can ask me. Dylan?
No, miss.
No, you all are clear with it, right?
Yeah.
So shall I leave this?
சொல்லுங்க மிஸ்
செஷன் லீவ் பண்ணலாமா? நம்ம ஓகே?
கிளாஸ் முடிஞ்சது என்ன
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஓகே?